1996 Daytona 500 has been a
Here we are for Rockingham, the Busch is here at Rockingham. Goodwrench 100. Here it will be a 79 lap event at Rock with, I should probably flip my mic down to my head here. With Todd Bodine starting on row 1. Alongside him is Dale Jarrett. Then we have our Daytona winner Mark Martin, and alongside him, after that horrible crash in the 1997 Daytona 500 or Busch race last week, Ricky Craven rolls off in 4th with Elliott Sadler and Glenn Allen Jr. in row 3, Randy LaJoie and Phil Parsons row 4, and Mike McLaughlin and Hermie Sadler row 5. Again, 79 laps here at the Rock. It's going to be big. The fuel window is 40 to 45 laps, so it looks like we'll be just about halfway. Will be where we hit the pit cycle. Be interesting to see with a minute before the green flag. Ed Barrier, of course, he drove in the Daytona race. He is injured, sat out for a few races. Jeff McClure is in that 77 car for him. Jeff starting pretty far back in the field. Now, let's see. Mark Martin, can he go 2 for 2? Starting 3rd in that 60 car, one of the fastest in practice. That could be a big threat for him if he was able to get up there and try to win this race, especially at a track that's not as luck-based as Daytona. Elliott Sadler back there in 5th. He's also up there in points. But the drivers who were running with Mark this week, most of them are not in this field. Jimmy Spencer not returning, and neither is Tim Steele in that 4 car. It is Jeff Purvis here today. So let's go down for the commands to fire the engines here for Rockingham.
Drivers, start your engines!
As we said, there is a 38 car field here for the Rockingham race, the Goodwrench Service 200 here at the Rock. Second race of the Busch season, and you see all 38 drivers wheeling off of pit road. Who's going to be able to win today here at the Rock? A very quick pace lap you'll see there. Jason Keller kind of all over the pack of him. But now, Todd Bodine starting this race from the pole. Will he be able to win? Will he be able to hold off drivers Mark Martin, Elliott Sadler, Randy LaJoie, Mike McLaughlin, who all start right behind him? But do not count that outside line out here at Rockingham either. It's going to be a long race, 79 laps, at least 1 pit stop, which is who's going to be able to win today here at the Rock. So, we come through 3 and 4. Go ahead and get that CBS ticker up. That old retro CBS look right in here. Dale Jarrett on the outside, Todd Bodine on the inside, Mark Martin and Ricky Craven, your top 4, coming down the front straightaway. Coming down, and we will get the green flag. 79 laps here at the Rock. We're racing at Rockingham. And they're going to go 2 by 2 into the corner. Todd Bodine now down on the inside. Mark Martin trying to push him through. Elliott Sadler trying to get there as well. Mark Martin, as we said, looking for his 2nd win in a row, and he's already going to make the dive to the inside of Todd Bodine. Mark Martin, who almost won the Daytona 500. No, he didn't. Who got flipped over at the Daytona 500. He is now into the front of this pack and now leads as we go 2 laps through this race at Rockingham. Elliott Sadler now bringing that 29. He's going to move right up into 2nd. You see 3 wide a bit further back. All 42 cars just flying around, but Mark Martin pulling away in that 60 car. Elliott Sadler back there in 2nd. Randy LaJoie now has to fight Todd Bodine. Randy back there in that 74, just trying to get around that 36. If these guys can clear him, they should have a shot at Martin, but Martin been one of the fastest all race long, is one of the fan favorites to win. Of course, in 1997, he did win this race. And now, battle for 4th, Dale Jarrett looking to the inside of Todd Bodine. Randy LaJoie looking on Sadler, nothing there. Todd Bodine now starting to feel that outside line draw. He's now back to that 5th position. Mike McLaughlin, who also had a pretty hard hit at Daytona, he's up in that 6th position. Glenn Allen Jr. back to 7th. Ricky Craven in 8th. Dennis Setzer in that 78, he's into 9th. Tim Vidoa, 33, that 10th position. Go ahead and get a quick flyby. They head down into the corner. 4 laps through this event already. They're already starting to spread out. A bit of 3 wide action back there. Jeff Fuller being forced 3 wide as Mark Martin begins to pull away. Elliott Sadler, Randy LaJoie, Dale Jarrett, now Mike McLaughlin to that 5th position. And on the inside, Glenn Allen Jr. of Todd Bodine. Bodine started on the outside of row 1. He's all the way back to that 7th position now as the field rushes down the back straightaway once again. 5 laps through this event. Todd Bodine continuing to drop back. Ricky Craven now in that 2-car looking on the outside, and that's what's going to happen right there. Craven now side by side. Todd Bodine is Tim Fedewa trying to bring that 33 into the mix for this 9th position. Dennis Setzer in that 78. He drove in the 43 last week at Daytona. He's now in the 78 car looking for that 9th position, looking for a top 10 run at least. Now getting passed by Dick Trickle. That's the battle for that 10th position. It's Phil Parsons in that 10 car also back here. Alton Sawyer in that 38 trying to fight these guys. But Phil Parsons trying to break his way into the top 10 in that channel lock Chevrolet. You also see Greg Sachs in that 45. He's back there. The 43 this week is being driven by Rodney Combs in that Lance Snacks 43. So he and Dennis Setzer swapping out rides there. For this week, Setzer now forced 3 wide, and Dennis really starting to drop back on the outside line. That 78 Hermie Sadler spinner in front of the field. There was a spin. Mark Martin's gone. It looks like it was Kevin LePage on the front straightaway that went around in that Hype Energy 88. Mark Martin as he continues to lead this race. Dale Jarrett back in 2nd. Sadler 3rd. Randy LaJoy 4th. Mike McLaughlin battling Randy LaJoy for that 4th position. Go ahead and take a quick replay of what happened here. Kevin LePage that sent him around. Going backwards through the track. So LePage goes pretty high. You see the 77 there's McClure ahead, but it looks like Bobby Labonte in that 44 is just going to get right into the back of Kevin, spin him off of the corner. And you see that 88 just goes sliding through the grass, slides across the line, but he will be able to save himself. Keep on going here in that 88 car. Mark Martin now continues the race lead. Dale Jarrett, Elliott Sadler trying to bring it up with Randy LaJoy, Mike McLaughlin, Ricky Craven, Tim Fedewa, Todd Bodine, Glenn Allen Jr., and Phil Parsons, your top 10. Can Martin hang on? We'll go ahead and get a flyby of the cars as they go around here, and we'll take us to the first commercial break. The field right now mainly going single file, 11 laps through this event. We got about 30 laps till we see some pit stops happening. Get you guys back to the action here shortly. Rockingham. And you see now the action is up front. Dale Jarrett starting to catch Mark Martin, so that could be a big battle there for Mark, especially having to fight Dale Jarrett. In that 32 car, Dale, a very strong driver, and now he's getting the run. Will he be able to make the move on Martin? Down the front straightaway he goes, diving to the inside. Battle for the race lead. Dale Jarrett looks to the inside on Martin, side by side. Dale Jarrett is going to edge off of the corner. You see Kevin LePage up there, lap car after he spun. He's going to be a possible factor in this battle. But now Dale Jarrett will get around Mark Martin. Back into second goes Mark as Elliott Sadler looks to the inside of him. Side by side for that second position. It looks like Martin's going to be able to carry the momentum past Elliott on that outside line. Randy LaJoy sitting solidly back here in fourth. Let's go on board with him real quick in that 74 car as he's chasing down that top three. Kevin LePage, of course, the lap car right in front. But Mark Martin now losing the lead the first time all race, 15 laps through this event. Will Mark be able to go 2 for 2? He's been a strong car, and as we said, one of the fastest in practice. But Dale Jarrett looking like he might have the speed. Elliott Sadler, Randy LaJoy as well could be right in that mix with him. Mike McLaughlin and Ricky Craven now, both of these guys. Mike McLaughlin was actually the driver who hit Ricky Craven hard on the driver's side of his car at Daytona. Both of them walked away okay after being lifted to the local hospital down there after those wild crashes. There's Tim Fedewa, 7th, Todd Bodine, 8th, Phil Parsons, 9th, Glenn Allen Jr. back to 10th, Dick Trickle, 11th, Eldon Sawyer, 12th, Greg Sachs. What a run he's having right now in this 45 car, up to that 13th position. A great underdog performance today by Greg Sachs. 14th is Rodney Combs, 15th, Mark Green, 16th Hermie Sadler, 17th Jeff Fuller, 18th back to Dennis Setzer, 19th Ron Barfield Jr., and 20th Joe Bessie. And there's Buckshot Jones back there in that 21st position. 22nd, Tim Bender, with 23rd Stevie Reeves, 24th Rodney Porter, and 25th Doug Reed III. The rest of the field running there. There's Steve Park for DEI. He's up back in the 27th position, so a struggling day for DEI today. He's just trying to hang on, trying to finish out this race pretty well. You see the 4 of Jeff Purvis right in front of him. That's the battle for that 26th position. And now Mike Dillon making a move to the inside of Foster. Johnny Chapman's Shane Hall battling right there as well. Foster right in front of that. There's Jason Keller. There's Bobby Labonte and the rest of the field. They've all been making their way around the lap car. It looks like Mike McLaughlin might have been held up by that. He's going to drop about 3 to 4 spots. There's Kevin LePage in that 88 car. And Greg Sachs now fighting Elton Sawyer for that 12th position. That's a great battle right there. But up in front it is all Dale Jarrett right now out in front. Way ahead, Mark Martin. You also see Sadler, LaJoy, and now Tim Fedewa into the top 5 here at Rockingham. 20 laps in already. This race is starting to pick up some speed, but most of the field just running single file. May as well at this point just ride around, see what these cars around you are going to do. The pit stops, that's going to be the big turning point in this race as you see Greg Sachs and Elton Sawyer trying to make their way around Kevin LePage. Oh, Sachs almost into the back of Elton Sawyer and almost into LePage. LePage kind of holds him up. Here comes Rodney Combs in that 43. Battle for 12th starting to heat up on track. As we said, most of the field, they're going to run single file around here. Not many passing opportunities. There's one right there. Ron Barfield to the inside of Dennis Setzer. Buckshot Jones. That's battle for the 19th position between the two of them. And now Ron Barfield Jr. in that 94 making his way around Dennis Setzer. Buckshot watching right behind him. Is he going to be able to clear him for that 18th position? Don't know, but as they go through the corner, Ron Barfield takes the position away from Dennis Setzer. Buckshot going to follow him right on through. There is the 77 Jeff McClure in that 77 car. Of course, after Ed Barrier was injured last week at Daytona, Ed Barrier will not be in the car for a while. You see the 20 car of Ed Spencer III. Mike Dillon now starting to converge on the 77. McClure trying to prove himself. Mike Dillon dives all the way to the inside there. That, I believe, is for the 31st position. So these guys starting to really drop back. Bobby Labonte as well in this 44 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. It's a struggling day for him. He got into the back of Kevin LePage, and now the 44 team starting to struggle here back in that 37th position. Mark Martin now has Elliott Sadler to worry about, as Sadler is going to be all over the back of him going down into turn number 3. Will we see a battle between them? The field, the fans were a little upset that a Cup regular was able to win at Daytona last week. Tim Steele was one of the fan favorites for that race as soon as all those crashes happened. Of course, Mark Martin was the one able to hold them all off, so right now it looks like a lot of fans are rooting for these Cup guys to start shuffling to the back. Elliott Sadler, though, a Busch regular. He is up here in 3rd. In 4th, Randy LaJoy. 5th, now Tim Fedewa. Battle for 7th, Phil Parsons versus Ricky Craven in that 10 and that 2 car. 26 laps through this race. We're coming up on pit stops in just about another 20 laps or so. We'll see that. Elliott Sadler, Randy LaJoy kind of running a little lower than Mark Martin there, but Phil Parsons does clear that 2 car. That moves him up into that 7th position. Mike McLaughlin 9th, and still Glenn Allen Jr. still there in 10th. Greg Sachs continues to try to work on Elton Sawyer, but again, what an underdog performance by this 45 team. Greg Sachs up here in the 13th position. Of course, Brad Loney, he's driven this car a few times, or will be driving this car a few times this season. Right now, this 45 team is just trying to make some moves on Elton Sawyer, and a top 15 would be beautiful for this team going forward. Now we're going to go back up front. Dale Jarrett continuing to pull away, but Mark Martin now has a mirror full of Elliott Sadler. In that 29, he's looking to the inside. You guys saw Terry Labonte in that 44 car, or Bobby Labonte in that 44 car, not Terry, is just ahead. So right now, lap traffic could be coming into play before pit stops here, but it is Dale Jarrett dominating this race ever since he got around Mark Martin, and not one Busch regular has led a lap this race yet. Dale Jarrett continues to lead. You see the drivers ahead of him, Bobby Labonte, Jim Foster, Jason Keller and Shane Hall for lap cars right in front of Dale Jarrett as he continues to make laps here. 29 of 79 through. Elliott Sadler right there. We're going to go ahead and take another commercial break here. Get you guys back to the action shortly here at Rockingham. A big battle forming up here for that 5th position. Tim Fedewa trying to hold off Todd Bodine, Phil Parsons, and Ricky Craven. Battle for the 5th position continues to go on here at Rockingham. Right now, 36 car dropping to 6th. Elliott Sadler now trying to make a move on Mark Martin as Mark's held up behind Bobby Labonte. Battle for that 2nd position going as Dale Jarrett continues to lead. Martin now held up by Bobby Labonte. Will Sadler be able to make the move off the corner? Martin's going to continue, but now Sadler going to try to force it possibly 3 wide into the corner. He thinks against it. They go on through. Now Phil Parsons making the move on Todd Bodine. Phil started about 10th in this race. He's moved his way up to 6th on the move. On the hunt for a win is this number 10 of Phil Parsons. Ricky Craven now making a move on Todd Bodine. Not going to happen there. We go through the corner. Bobby Labonte goes up the track. The battle still for 2nd. Randy LaJoie. LaJoie can get into this battle. He might be able to blow past both of them. Right now, Elliott Sadler just unable to get around Mark Martin here for that 2nd position. Dale Jarrett continuing to put cars down. Foster and Labonte both laps down. Now making a move on Jason Keller. You also see Shane Hall going to drop back. So Dale Jarrett clears that 57 car. And now Dale Jarrett continuing on past Jason Keller. Going right up behind Shane Hall. That 85, Mark Martin. Now Randy LaJoie getting into the mix. LaJoie looking to the outside of Elliott Sadler into the corner. That could be a move for the 3rd position. A bit of a different angle there. If he can make that outside line work, that could be great for him. Tim Fedewa 5th and Phil Parsons 6th. Now as the lap cars are going to battle, but in front of the leaders. And now Elliott Sadler almost getting around Martin. Might have been a little bit of contact between the two of them as Foster and Keller now holding up all of these guys. Sadler, will he be able to make the move down this front straightaway into the corner? They're all just stacking up. Phil Parsons is going to make a huge move. Parsons looking for a top 5 run. He could move all the way up to 3rd. Sadler gets blocked. Phil Parsons 3 positions in 1 lap, and now he is up into that 3rd position. Right now chasing him down. Elliott Sadler back there into the 4th position. So now he drops behind. Randy LaJoie getting held up by Jason Keller as these guys are all just stacking up. Can Phil Parsons move his way up there? Now they all start shaking around. Elliott Sadler now dropping to the inside of Phil Parsons. Mark Martin still in that 2nd position as Foster now holding up Phil. Tim Fedewa could get himself up into this mix. 3 wide further back there as they try to make their move around the 11. Randy LaJoie has lost 4 spots now, and Dale Jarrett absolutely pulling away at this point. We're only about 10 laps, 5 to 10 laps away from pit stops. Here and halfway through this race, Dale Jarrett continues to lead. Mark Martin getting attacked by Elliott Sadler still for that 2nd and 3rd position. Phil Parsons in that 10 car. He's going to move himself. Keep himself in 4th. Tim Fedewa 5th. Ricky Craven 6th. Todd Bodine 7th. Randy LaJoie 8th. Mike McLaughlin 9th. And Glenn Allen Jr. remain your top 10. And Sadler has just not been able to make a move. Dale Jarrett down pit road. That's going to be the fuel. That's going to be pit stops. So now the strategy aspect comes in. Who will be able to win after pit stops here? Dale Jarrett will be the first car in. He leads them all down. And pit stops are going to be big here at Rockingham, a track that kind of eats up your tires. Let's go back up to the battle for the race lead. That is Mark Martin, Elliott Sadler, Phil Parsons. When will these guys come in to take their pit stops? Phil Parsons will be the first one of that group in. And now you see they lead the rest of them, but Martin and Elliott Sadler continue nose to tail here. And Sadler just, you can see he is trying to get down there, but Martin's just too fast into the corner. Sadler sucks right up to the back bumper of that 60, just cannot get the move done. Mike McLaughlin also stayed out, and Glenn Allen Jr. as well out of that top 10. It looks like they're slowing down now. They will be bringing themselves onto pit road. Martin getting that lap led. So with pit stops underway, what will Mark Martin and Elliott Sadler do? Will they be able to get out? See pit road pretty busy. It's a short track. So even if you take an extra lap to come in, you still see a lot of cars coming in and out. Let's hope they don't get messed up in damage on pit road as they go around. Dale Jarrett 20th now. Mark Green going to slow them up. So will Rodney Combs in the 43 car. Buckshot Jones will screw up Elliott Sadler's day, so some busy pit road action there as they go around. Everyone down pit road. Greg Sachs has no hood. They've taken the hood off the 45, so he has an issue in the damage there. And the 4 now coming out, the 8 coming out, everyone coming out now. Where is Dale Jarrett? Mark Martin gets right back out on track. Phil Parsons has blown by all of them. Dale Jarrett is all the way up here with now Ricky Craven chasing behind him. That is the battle right there. So now Ricky Craven could be in the hot seat to try to win this race, as Dale Jarrett has absolutely shot out of a cannon after those pit stops. Now up to a 2.5 second lead over the 2 of Ricky Craven. Back in 3rd is now Randy LaJoy. 4th, Phil Parsons. And 5th, I believe, goes to Tim Fedewa. And all the way back, Mark Martin is now there. I believe that is the 7th or 8th position. Yes, he is in that 7th position. Dick Trickle, 64 car, popping himself into the top 10. He's up to the 8th position. It's a great run right there by that 64 car. Now going down, Dale Jarrett remains in your race lead as he's now coming up on Steve Park to lap, as well as the 97. Both of those cars could go just one lap down right here. And here comes that 32 trying to dive it on in under Steve Park. Nothing there. So Steve is just going to have to move it out of the way. 26 cars are on the lead lap, and that is the 3 team. The 3 team of Steve Park is the last car in the lead lap as he's going to get lapped. Now it goes to Doug Reed the 3rd. He is 25th on the track, and he will now fall a lap down. Dale Jarrett, who is absolutely dominating this race. And it looks like most likely this race could go on just single file the rest of the way. Pretty calm as that 32 just continues to pick up through the field. Mark Martin now attacking Todd Bodine. That's for that 6th position. Mark was so good. He led the race early, and pit stops is going to cost both him and Elliott Sadler. You see Sadler back there in 9th, so heartbreaking day for the 60 team, who for sure would have had something for Dale Jarrett after pit stops. Right now he's going to have to try to fight his way back up through the pack. There you see him go right by Tracy Leslie. Todd Bodine on the inside of the 85 car. Mark Martin all the way on the back of him. That will be a good battle for that 6th position. These two, of course, started 2nd and 3rd. And now Mark Martin diving onto the inside of that 36 car. Mark Martin will take that 6th position away from Todd Bodine. Tim Fedewa up to that 5th position. Up there in 4th, Phil Parsons. 3rd, Randy LaJoy. 2nd, Ricky Craven. And 1st is Dale Jarrett. Now, Dale Jarrett, he did come earlier than a lot of drivers, so he will have to check for that pit strategy. And Ian White, I will send you a link at the end of this race. Or if you can just leave your Discord name down or something. I don't know. Dale Jarrett out in front, leading this race, and he's launched it out to a 2.7 second lead, pulling away from Ricky Craven in the closing laps of this race. We still have 30 laps to go, so a bit of a distance away. In this slog of a race, it has been this 32 car of Dale Jarrett dominating for most of it. The question is, will he have enough fuel to make it to the end as this field continues to race? Because he will have to save, I think, a lap. He came in a lap early, earlier than halfway, so he could be out of fuel near the end. So still, these guys will be battling for that 2nd position. Ricky Craven now has Randy LaJoy coming right up on him, and let's go ahead and go through the field here in the Busch race. Dale Jarrett, of course, talked about him a lot. This race has been in the race lead in that 32 White Rain Ford, as he has had the most dominant car today and has led for most of the last 40 laps. Right now, this 32 team looking to just go around, just hit his marks, make it to the end of this race. Back in 2nd is Ricky Craven after a horrifying race at Daytona. Horrifying wreck at Daytona. The 2 team almost did not have a driver coming into this week, but Ricky Craven, he said he would run the Daytona 500. That he did. He's been medically cleared for this race, so now he is running. Kevin LePage is going to stall on the backstretch. Will this bring out a caution? There is issues with the 88. and he will stop on the backstretch. The question is, will this 88 bring out a caution? And it does. Caution is out here at Rockingham, and this changes everything. There will be lap cars around there, but Dale Jarrett will get his lap back. We'll also take a look and see what happened to Greg Sachs, costing Greg Sachs that damage. I don't know how it cost Greg, but he's now 23rd. And now Dale Jarrett will be still your race leader. That is going to be a definite shakeup of this race. Greg Sachs back down pit road, so the 45 is down pit road. The question is, will anyone go down for tires and fuel? Tires could make the difference here in a late race caution. That'd be interesting. We still have, I believe, 27 laps to go next time by. The 48 and the 78. Rodney Porter up to 17th. That's a great run for him, too. The back half of the field coming in to take pit tires and fuel. This could be a big strategy play on Rodney Porter, Dennis Setzer, and Stevie Reeves' races right here. This could be big for them if they would be able to take some tires and get some track position here coming into the late stages of this race. 78 pulls it down pit road, and they will go to work getting some tires on that car. Let's go ahead and take a quick replay of what happened here to Kevin LePage, and then take another look at what happened to Greg Sachs in this race. So Kevin LePage, he just was rounding the corner, and it just shuts off right there, right in front of the leader. So looks like that's just the end of his day. So Kevin LePage's race has gone from bad to worse. It's spin early on, just stalls him on the backstretch. So that's what brings out our caution here, Rockingham. Now let's take a look, if we can, see what happened to the 45 earlier on in this event. And it must have been on pit road. And he runs right into the back of Stevie Reeves, so that's what the issue was there. A congested pit road, and the team had to stop. He got some heavy front end damage, and that was why his hood was torn off of the car. So it looks like that's why Greg Sachs' day went from good to bad real quick. Now we'll go ahead and go back live to the live picture as they pace around here at Rockingham. So Dale Jarrett out in front. He has been a strong car all race long. You see only 3 cars behind him is Ricky Craven. The question is, will those two be able to wheel and deal it for the win? You see the 97 and 17 still between them. 2 lap cars could change everything, but they will drop to the inside line, as of course that was the rules back in this day. And we will see. I believe we should go green next time by, but Dale Jarrett looking for his chance to win. Let's take a look at all the drivers that are on the lead lap, with Ricky Craven 2nd, Randy LaJoie 3rd, Phil Parsons in 4th, in 5th is Mark Martin, 6th Tim Fedewa, 7th Todd Bodine, in 8th is Elliott Sadler, 9th Dick Trickle, and 10th Mike McLaughlin. In 11th, Elton Sawyer, 12th Ron Barfield Jr., 13th Glenn Allen Jr., 14th Mark Green, 15th Rodney Combs, 16th Buckshot Jones, 17th Joe Bessie, 18th Hermie Sadler, 19th Jeff Fuller, 20th Dennis Setzer, 21st Stevie Reeves, and 22nd Rodney Porter. Lap cars are going to line up back to the inside. Can Ricky Craven use this as an advantage? This is what these guys needed to get back into the battle with Dale Jarrett coming down the back straightaway once again. We're coming down. It will be, I believe, 25 laps to go. So that means some drivers may have to pit again if they cannot stretch the fuel after about a 15-lap fuel run, green flag run, they saw earlier. Coming on into turn number 3, Dale Jarrett leads. Can he use this restart to his advantage? Can he use the lap cars to his advantage? Ricky Craven, Randy LaJoie, they're going to have to fight hard to get up there and around that 32 that has been dominant all race long. Coming off of the corner, coming down to lap 56 to 79, Dale Jarrett coming to lead us back down. And the green flag will fly once again. We're back racing after our first caution at Rockingham. We go green. The 17 does not lay down, though. Here comes the 17 back, trying to get his lap back on the inside. And they are 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, 3 wide a little further back with Bobby Labonte and Greg Sachs with the 17. 17 of Tim Bender pulling away. Now the 97 is going to be between Jarrett and Craven. The 97 not giving Craven any room there, trying to get his lap back. Now Randy LaJoie tucks in behind. Mark Martin has made himself back up to 4th. Phil Parsons is losing it on the outside, real far back. as everyone starts fighting. Dale Jarrett now going to be able to get back around that 17. That looks like it could lock his race in if he can just clear these two lap cars. Ricky Craven now having to fight Randy LaJoie and the lap car of Doug Reed III. And now Randy LaJoie going to dive to the inside, pushes the 97 up the track, and they go 3 wide for that second position. Mark Martin back in the hunt. He's moving himself back into third. What a run this 60 car could do. And now the 32 of Dale Jarrett out in front. Randy LaJoie and Mark Martin, 2 of the series best, are going to be the ones fighting him down. Ricky Craven in 4th, in 5th, Tim Fedewa. There's Todd Bodine back at 6th, 3 wide once again. Elliott Sadler making the move up the middle. He wants to get back to the front, try to fight for this race victory. And now Mark Martin is going to look to the inside of Randy LaJoie. That's for that second position. As Tim Bender in that 17 still will not move out of their way. They're going to have to run around the 17 as we have 20 laps to go here at the Rock. Dale Jarrett continues to lead, but now Mark Martin, that fast car, the only other driver to lead this race under non-pit stop circumstances. Could he get up there and battle Dale Jarrett? Mark, as we said, he won at the Daytona race last week. He has a fast car under him. If he can clear the 17, he might be able to get up there and catch Dale Jarrett. Randy LaJoie now looking to the inside. He's going to clear that 17. That's up to third. So the top 3 are now have no lap cars between them. It's going to be a 3-car battle right now for this win, but Ricky Craven's still coming. If he could get around Tim Bender, that'll be a 4-car battle for this race. But Dale Jarrett, it's going to be hard to stop this 32 car once he gets out in front. Mark Martin is really closing him down. The cars that pitted during the caution. You see, there is the 96 Stevie Reeves. He is in that 22nd position still. Other cars, they are on the hunt. There is Dennis Setzer. There is Rodney Porter. They are now into the top 10 if they can get around Mike McLaughlin. These guys with their fresh tires, could they be threats here at the end of this race? Rodney Porter into 11th. Dennis Setzer into 12th. They are having a run right now. The question is, they do not have nearly enough time. If there was another caution, maybe they'd be able to get out a win, but it looks like a top 10 will probably be the best they can do. Mark Martin is catching Dale Jarrett, though. It could be just another cup race battle for this race lead. And now we are coming around only to 15 to go next time by. Mark Martin is there on Dale Jarrett. Randy LaJoie is trying. Ricky Craven has no one behind him, so those two are just trying to get their way to this front battle. Hope that Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, if they start battling, that could bring Randy LaJoie into the hunt. But Mark Martin off for the corner, right on the back bumper of Dale Jarrett. Can Mark do it to the inside of Dale Jarrett now? 14 laps to go next time by. Mark Martin for the lead, and he's going to take it back. Down the back straightaway, Randy LaJoie is trying to get up there, but Martin now clears Dale Jarrett back into the race lead. The 60 team, they started this race leading. They led lap 1, went from 3rd to 1st right away. Now Mark Martin is leaving Dale Jarrett back in the dust. Randy LaJoie trying to catch back up. Now Todd Bodine, Phil Parsons, can they get their way into the mix? They are 5th and 6th trying to make their way towards the front. There is Dennis Setzer in that 78. He's now into the top 10. He's into the 9th position. Rodney Porter 10th. Those fresh tires are really starting to show here. What if they do have enough time? They are 5 seconds back, but they could really just get up there if they could just pass cars left and right. Only 12 laps to go next time by, though. I don't know if they'll have enough time, especially once they catch up here. Possibly a top 5, though, for Dennis Setzer. That could be amazing, that 75 car. But Mark Martin is pulling away. Randy LaJoie trying to catch up. The red flag caution is out. The field is frozen. We will have another restart here at Rockingham. A bigger crash. It looks like Mark Green involved. Rodney Combs as well. This could be huge. This could be huge for Dennis Setzer and Rodney Porter. But Mark Martin now will have to defend on another restart. Will anyone pit with 10 to go? We'll see. The caution could be open. The red flag... the green flag showing on the pit entrance. It was red last time by. That's why I knew there was a caution. It doesn't look like anyone's going to go in. But Dennis Setzer, Rodney Porter from 21st and 22nd to 9th and 10th on that restart. This could be big. They could get up there and possibly win this now. There will only be about 7 or 8 laps to go, but they do have the tires, and they can abuse their fuel a bit more than these guys that might have to save. We'll go ahead and take a quick commercial, or not a quick commercial break, quick replay of Mark Green and Rodney Porter and Rodney Combs' impact. That 43 pretty torn up on the back. Let's go ahead back to a replay. What happened there? Oh, I thought someone was down. We'll go ahead and get a replay of this incident right here. Oh. There's Stevie Reeves in that 96 trying to work his way back up the pack. But there is Rodney Combs. Just gets ran over by the 96 right up into the wall. And then slides right back down. Mark Green just gets hit at the end, spun around. We'll get an onboard here with that 37. So on board Mark Green in that 37 car. He fell to the back early, and you see further up, they're just going to get together, the 43 and the 96. They spin into the wall. Coming on down, Mark tried to get through. He just spins it around. Great job keeping it off the wall. But this will set us up for a less than 10 to go restart. This should be interesting. So Mark Martin in this race lead, Dale Jarrett second. Both of these drivers have been some of the strongest in the field. They've led the most laps combined. Randy LaJoie back there in third, the only Busch regular in this top 4 with Ricky Craven back and forth. Todd Bodine 5th, Phil Parsons 6th. The top 6 will not have any lap cars between them. Now there is Elliott Sadler in 7th, Tim Fedewa 8th, but we just have to point out Dennis Setzer and Rodney Porter. Rodney Porter's march toward the front has been outstanding. Those fresh tires, they have about 13 laps fresher tires on their cars than the rest of the 8 cars in front of them. They have 10 cars to pass because there's 2 lap cars. This 78 and the 48, they could be in for some record, some team best finishes here at the Rock. Now coming around, let's see if we will get the lights on the pace car going out this time by. As we cross the line, they do go out, so we will be going back racing with only 7 laps to go. Can Dennis Setzer or Rodney Porter get up there and put themselves in the mix? Can Mark Martin just walk away with a second win, first in 2 races? Dale Jarrett back there in second, Randy LaJoie third, Ricky Craven 4th, 5th Todd Bodine, and 6th Phil Parsons. Those 6 have unmitigated access to that race leader. It's all lead lap cars between them. The 17 and the 97, the 2 cars between the top 9 there, those are the 2 that are laps down. Coming into turn number 3, we will go back racing. 8 laps to go this time by. It's sure to be a great 8 laps. That 78 and 48 we're going to have to watch on this restart. Now, Dale Jarrett, he's going to have a real quick dive if he wants to get around Mark Martin. Coming to the green flag. Coming down the front straightaway, Mark Martin is going to receive the green flag. And we are racing a terrible jump for Dale Jarrett, a huge jump for Mark Martin. And the field stacks up behind Dale Jarrett. Martin launches away. There is the 78 trying to make some moves. We'll just watch and see if Dennis Setzer can make some passes towards the front. Him and Rodney Porter both go out. Elliott Sadler as well trying to get up there. But Mark Martin has launched away as Dale Jarrett a little slow on that restart. Randy LaJoie is there. Todd Bodine in that 36. He's back there in that 5th position. Can he get up there? He started 2nd in this race. Randy LaJoie now trying to make a move around Dale Jarrett. But Mark Martin out in front. The field continuing to race around. The 78 and the 48, they've been kind of stalled out further back. I don't think they have enough time now, especially with these faster cars up front. But Mark Martin starting to pull away. Can he go 2 for 2? It looks like it'll happen. There'd have to be another caution within the next 2 laps for us to have any green flag laps left. So if they're going to wreck, they better wreck now. Dale Jarrett has Randy LaJoie. Can LaJoie just push him right on up? There's Elliott Sadler. Rodney Porter now into the 8th position for that 48 car. Randy LaJoie just does not have the momentum to get around Dale Jarrett. Up the track goes Phil Parsons. There is Rodney Porter The 48 launching off of the corner around Tim Fedewa. He has a huge closing rate on Elliott Sadler and Phil Parsons. I just do not think there is enough time for this 48 or the 78 to do it, but a top 5 run is sure in the cards for both of them. Rodney Porter, he's going to have to get aggressive here, but he's just not able to make it around. Elliott Sadler, Phil Parsons, they're just not letting him by. Coming around, 5 laps to go here at the Rock. Mark Martin has absolutely launched away. And now Porter, he makes the move inside of Elliott Sadler. No matter what, this could be a top 5 day for both of those drivers. Phil Parsons now the next one in Rodney Porter's line. And the 48, will he be able to dive him? No, these guys are running real defensively. Sadler gets moved up by Dennis Setzer. Now Setzer going to drive right on by Elliott Sadler. 4 to go. 3 to go. Mark Martin, 3 to go. Out in front in this Roush Racing number 60. He won Daytona last week, and he's pulling away from Jared and Randy LaJoie. It looks like his day will shine once again, looking for 2 wins in a row in the 1997 Busch Grand National season. Dale Jarrett and Randy LaJoie still battling for second. Rodney Porter now pushing Phil Parsons, trying to get into the top 5. There's Dennis Setzer, and that 78 still there. And Rodney Porter, they just cannot get around Phil Parsons. Ricky Craven, now Dennis Setzer up the track. That is the battle we are watching, but it doesn't matter. Now Randy LaJoie trying to make the move on Dale Jarrett, but it looks like Mark Martin's race is gone. Coming around to the white flag here at the Rock, we have 1 lap to go for Mark Martin and his 2nd win of the season. 2 cars are on pit road. Hermie Sadler went down pit road. Randy LaJoie now is going to go for the battle side by side with Dale Jarrett for that 2nd position, but it's too late. Mark Martin pulling away. Rodney Porter to the 5th position, but coming around. Mark Martin in that 60 car. He dominated the early part of this race. He came back at the last part of this race, and he will win his 2nd race of the season at the Rock. But what a run was had there by Rodney Porter at the end. He will score a top 5 in that 48 Universe number 48 Ford. What a run. Rodney Porter and that strategy got him from 22nd to 5th in this race. Dennis Setzer will still come home 9th after he was mired back in the traffic. But it is Mark Martin bringing his 2nd win of the season, of the Busch Grand National season here at the Rock. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The other stuff will come up later. And tomorrow, in Universe time, will be the Goodwrench Service 400 here for the Winston Cup. Mark Martin, could he go 2 for 2? Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.